Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. B&B spoilers. Ridge bonds with Taylor and Brooke turns to Bill. The bold and the beautiful spoilers document that Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K, was in the right place at the right time. If he had not hung back after the video was cut for Brooke's bedroom, there's no telling what would have happened to Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. Thankfully, the test Dr. Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech, ran produced a positive result. The outcome was less dire than Taylor believed. Instead of having heart failure, she has broken heart syndrome. Viewers sensed that the recast character Budig was hired to play would not be dying. While that's always possible in the quixotic daytime world, a different storyline arc appears to have been revealed through the test Grace conducted. Ridge never expected Taylor to tell him that she was dying, but he responded as soon as she did. Eric Forrester, John McCook, held a fatalistic outlook in the recent past, but Ridge urged his father to seek treatment, and all was resolved. Similarly, Ridge told Taylor that she would hold onto one doctor's opinion from Europe. She fell into the trap of overly emphasizing one person's supposed science-based opinion, and believed the Grim Reaper would be knocking shortly. Making an appointment with Grace was purposeful. It quickly countered the heart failure diagnosis and reminded viewers that Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, is set to marry Paris Buckingham, Diamond White. Taylor was prepared to bless the latest relationship Ridge and Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, are involved in. The incredible 8-time married couple are not currently in wedded bliss, but they are together. The lack of a ninth union allows for the revival of one of B&B's classic triangles. Ridge's flood of emotions regarding Taylor's heart failure diagnosis and the revealed alternative reality will cause Kay's character to consider his split feelings. He loves Brooke and has been with her many times, including now. However, the ferocious way he responds to Taylor is meaningful and can cause both characters to wonder if the spark between them can be reignited. Brooke arrived at Bill Spencer's, Don Diamond, mansion shortly after Katie Logan, Heather Tom, left. Tom's character met with Bill at his request. Bill asked Katie to reconcile, but she refused. Her belief that Brooke's unavailability was the only reason why Bill wanted to get back together proved to be a foreshadowing. However, Bill has not been thinking about Brooke in many years. Katie knows that. However, she also knows that a dysfunctional dynamic could quickly be revived. However, she also knows that a dysfunctional dynamic could be restored if Lang's character becomes available. Seeing Ridge become closer to Taylor this fall is not a stretch. If that happens, Brooke could turn to Bill as she has in the past and prove Katie's sage, self-protective prophecy right. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the Los Angeles skyline. At the Forrester Creations headquarters, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Ridge Forrester leaned back in his chair, the weight of recent family drama evident in the creases of his brow. After a tumultuous journey through love and heartbreak, he found himself at a crossroads, one that would ultimately redefine his relationships with the women in his life, Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan. As he pondered the state of his life, the door creaked open, and in walked Taylor, her face radiant with a warm smile that instantly eased the tension in the room. "Hey, Ridge," she said softly, a hint of concern in her voice. "I thought I might find you here. You've been working too hard." Ridge looked up, his expression shifting as he noticed the care in her eyes. "You always know how to find me, Taylor. It's just, there's a lot going on. I don't know where to begin." He gestured toward the papers scattered across his desk, remnants of the latest collection designs mixed with family business. Taylor crossed the room and settled into the chair opposite him. "Why don't you start by talking about what's bothering you? You've been through so much lately." Ridge sighed, his thoughts drifting back to the complicated web of love, loyalty, and heartache that had tangled him up for years. "It's just, I've spent so much time focusing on my career and my family that I've neglected what really matters. I miss the connection we had, the bond we formed when we were raising the kids together." "Ridge, I appreciate you saying that," Taylor replied gently. "I miss those moments too. Our kids have grown, but our connection doesn't have to fade. We can find our way back to each other." As they shared a moment of silence, Ridge felt a warmth swell in his chest. He remembered the laughter they had shared over the years, the late-night talks filled with dreams and aspirations. It felt like a lifetime ago, yet somehow, those memories still lingered, a promise of what could be. Meanwhile, across town, Brooke Logan stood by the large bay windows of her penthouse, the vibrant sunset casting a brilliant array of colors in her living room. But inside, she felt anything but radiant. After her recent confrontation with Ridge, her heart ached with confusion. How could the man she loved still be so intertwined with Taylor? Just then, her phone buzzed on the counter. It was a message from Bill Spencer, and the memories of their past flooded her mind. She hesitated, knowing how their history had been filled with passion but also betrayal. However, with Ridge's indecision weighing heavily on her heart, she felt a pull toward the man who had always been there, ready to catch her when she fell. "Hey, Bill," she answered, her voice hesitant but hopeful. "Brooke," he replied, his tone smooth and confident. "I was just thinking about you. Want to grab dinner tonight? We can talk. I know you've been through a lot." Brooke considered his offer, weighing her options. "I don't know, Bill. Things have been complicated with Ridge, and I don't want to drag you into my mess." "Brooke, I've always been here for you," Bill reassured her. "You know that. Let's just enjoy a night out and forget the chaos for a bit." Against her better judgment, Brooke found herself accepting. "Okay, I'll meet you at Il Giardino at 7. As the clock approached 7, Brooke arrived at the upscale Italian restaurant. The ambience was cozy, with dim lighting and the soft sounds of a live musician serenading diners. Bill was already seated, a sly smile spreading across his face as he spotted her. "Brooke, you look stunning," he said, standing to pull out her chair. "Thank you, Bill. You clean up pretty well yourself," she replied, forcing a smile as she sat down. The two exchanged pleasantries and light conversation as they perused the menu. But as the evening wore on, Brooke could feel the weight of her choices pressing down on her. Bill had a way of making her feel alive again, yet the thought of Ridge lingered like a shadow, constantly reminding her of the love she had fought so hard for. Back at Forrester Creations, Ridge and Taylor found themselves reminiscing about their past, slowly bridging the gap that had formed between them. "Do you remember the time we almost lost our chance to show at Fashion Week?" Taylor laughed, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Of course, you pulled off that last-minute dress for Steffi, and she stole the show." Ridge chuckled, the memory warming his heart. "I was so proud of you." "Just like I'm proud of you now," Taylor said, her gaze steady and sincere. "You've always been a visionary, Ridge. I just want to remind you of that." Ridge's heart swelled as he looked into her eyes, recognizing the undeniable bond that still existed between them. "Thank you, Taylor. It means a lot to hear you say that. I've spent too long trying to balance everything without considering how much I need you in my life." As the evening unfolded, Ridge leaned closer to Taylor, their laughter filling the room as they shared stories and dreams. In that moment, it felt like no time had passed at all. The connection was electric, and Ridge realized how much he had missed this, how much he had missed her. Meanwhile, at Il Giardino, Brooke found herself laughing at one of Bill's jokes, momentarily forgetting the turmoil in her heart. "You always know how to make me smile, Bill," she admitted, her cheeks flushed. "I know what you need, Brooke. You deserve happiness and someone who will fight for you," Bill said, his eyes piercing her with sincerity. Brooke swallowed hard, the weight of his words hanging in the air. "I don't know what I want right now. Everything is so complicated with Ridge and Taylor." "Forget about them for a night. Focus on us," Bill urged, leaning closer, the tension between them palpable. As the night wore on, Brooke felt the pull of familiarity with Bill, the passion that had once ignited their romance flaring up once again. Yet every laugh, every flirtation, was shadowed by thoughts of Ridge and the family they had built together. Meanwhile, Ridge and Taylor decided to step out onto the balcony, the evening air refreshing against their skin. As they gazed at the twinkling lights of the city, Ridge felt a surge of emotion. "You know, Taylor, I've always respected you. You're an incredible woman, and I've taken that for granted." Taylor turned to him, her heart racing at his words. "Ridge, I'm not saying we need to rush into anything, but I do believe there's a path for us if we're willing to explore it." In that moment, Ridge made a choice. He took Taylor's hand, their fingers intertwining as they both felt the warmth of a rekindled connection. "Let's take it slow. Let's figure this out together." Back at the restaurant, Brooke couldn't shake the feeling of being torn between two worlds. The allure of Bill's presence was undeniable, yet the love she shared with Ridge was rooted deeply in her heart. As they finished their meal, Bill leaned in closer, his eyes dark with intent. "Brooke, what if I told you I want to be the man you can rely on? The one who can give you everything Ridge hasn't?" The moment hung heavy in the air, filled with possibilities. Brooke felt her heart race, yet in the back of her mind, Ridge's face loomed, his warmth, his charm, the love they had shared. "Bill, I appreciate everything you're saying, I really do. But I need time," she replied, her voice steady but tinged with uncertainty. As Brooke left the restaurant, she glanced back to see Bill watching her, a mix of hope and frustration in his eyes. The night had opened doors she wasn't sure she was ready to walk through. Meanwhile, Ridge and Taylor stood together on the balcony, the city lights reflecting in their eyes as they shared a moment of vulnerability. "No matter what happens, I want you to know you're still my best friend," Ridge said, his voice soft but filled with conviction. "Likewise, Ridge," Taylor replied, her heart soaring with the promise of new beginnings. "Let's rebuild our bond and see where it leads." As the night fell, the threads of their relationships tangled and intertwined, setting the stage for new developments and deeper connections. Ridge found comfort in Taylor, while Brooke grappled with her feelings for both men. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: love had a way of surprising them all.